What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Front Yard Fantasy. I am your host, Justin. Today we are talking two wide receivers to sell in Dynasty. These names are significant. Again, I'm sure you've seen the chapters. We're talking Terry McLaurin. We're talking Michael Thomas. Before we get into that, though, guys, again, if you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. Questions, comments, trade questions even, drop it down below in the comments. We'll get back to you guys, obviously, with all the advice, any questions you have. Check out our Discord, the TikTok. There's a bunch of stuff we got going on. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. First name, it is Terry McLaurin. If you're unfamiliar, obviously, he is the wide receiver of the Washington Commanders, 26 years old right now, about to turn 27 in week 2. I think Terry McLaurin is good. I think he is a very talented wide receiver. But the situation right now for his dynasty value is terrifying, to be perfectly honest. Again, you're looking at a guy who obviously just signed an extension, so the Commanders think he is good. But as far as fantasy goes, he has never finished above wide receiver 20 in points per game. And yeah, he's had just terrible quarterback play. We know that. That is a huge factor as to why he's only finished right at wide receiver 20. Now he gets the best quarterback of his career in what is not really great. It's freaking Carson Wentz. He's on his third team in 3 years. I mean, Carson Wentz is an objectively bad quarterback. I don't really think anybody at this point thinks much different, right? If that wasn't the case, the Colts don't go out and get Matt Ryan. They don't get rid of Carson Wentz for basically, after a 1-year rental. It's just things have not gone well. And that is now the guy we are putting our faith in, to get Terry McLaurin the ball and have him finally give us that superstar season we've been hoping for. If that doesn't happen, if that does not come to fruition, Terry McLaurin is going to tumble down dynasty ranks, right? In ADP right now, he's being drafted as a high-end wide receiver too, but if he's turning 28 next season and does not finish inside probably the top 15 at wide receiver, he's going to fall. He's going to become a low-end wide receiver too. You have a good class in 2023 coming in. You have year 2, it'll be of Drake London and Garrett Wilson and Treylon Burks. So young guys are going to rise up, right? Elijah Moore, those type of players are going to jump him in value and he's going to drop. It's a weird spot to be in because it is, put up or shut up. And if he doesn't put up, you lose a ton of value. We saw it last season when he didn't perform. He still slipped down dynasty ranks. So right now is a terrifying time, and I'd rather just get rid of the unknown that is Terry McLaurin, or the unknown of the situation, and get something of value right now that I have a little bit more faith in, or at least I have a longer runway for it to gain value. Terry McLaurin's probably not increasing in value. Again, around 28, you don't see a lot of wide receivers jump up unless he magically finishes, like Cooper Kupp did, as the wide receiver 1 or as some ungodly season. I don't think that's happening. As always, guys, we have our trades. We have 2 trades here that have actually taken place. Terry McLaurin for a 2023 mid-first round pick is at least the note it says. If that's the case, I'm happy to do it. In a 1 quarterback, especially in a super flex league, if you can go out and get a guy that's going to be valued similarly to Terry McLaurin, after your rookie draft, you pull the trigger. You take the chance on a 21, 22-year-old guy, whether it's a wide receiver, a running back, a quarterback, and you move on from Terry and just kind of get rid of the uncertainty that surrounds him. I'm fine with that trade. The next one here, it is Rashad Bateman. And it's a straight-up trade. Terry for Bateman. It's not even a guarantee that Terry McLaurin outscores Rashad Bateman this season. Rashad Bateman is younger. He has an MVP quarterback. He is the focal point of a passing game, or at the very worst, the 1B, next to Mark Andrews. He has first-round NFL draft capital as well. So he has everything you need. He checks all the boxes for, an up-and-coming rising dynasty player or asset you want to roster. So if that's the case, again, move off of the 28-year-old. Go and get younger with Rashad Bateman. And again, you may not even give up a lot of points week to week. They could be in a very similar tier this season, even for redraft. So I think that's a good deal. I'm happy to flip Terry for Rashad Bateman. Moving on to our second guy here. You already know it. It is Michael Thomas. And obviously, if you've held on to him this long, that sucks, right? Like, that's a bummer. You probably have not had a lot of fun rostering him for 2 years. Now, I think, is another opportunity to sell. His value is starting to rebound. He's healthy, dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue right now, but should be healthy for the season. We're actually going to see him get back on the field. And to a lot of people, Michael Thomas is still a superstar, right? Like, he is still a star wide receiver, and he could be, right? He still could be that guy. But at 29 years old, the clock is ticking for a guy that, again, similar to Terry, his value could just fall off a cliff. If Michael Thomas doesn't, have a great season, or at least a very good season, his value, already lower from its previous peak, is going to plummet even further, especially when he turns 30 heading into 2023. It's an interesting kind of precarious situation to be in. So, with that being said, why not move off of him and get either a different veteran wide receiver that we know is going to produce? We have a track record of them being on the field for 2 seasons, or go and get younger, get draft picks, get younger players in general that may not have the ceiling of Michael Thomas, but we don't even know what Michael Thomas's real ceiling is this season. So again, there's enough uncertainty that I'm fine to move on. Is he the same guy? That's the big question. And even if he is, his value's not coming back when he's hitting 30 years old. He's probably going to plateau the rest of his career. So if you're a win now team, I get holding on, but I think there's better pivots. So the 2 trades we have Michael Thomas straight up for Keenan Allen. I'm good with that. Again, I like Jameis, but I like Justin Herbert a lot more. Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, similar tier. I think Keenan Allen is still very good, still has wide receiver 1 in the range of his outcomes. It's a tough trade to make. Again, right, giving up Michael Thomas, that sucks, but Keenan Allen we know is great. We know he is. The injury concerns are behind him in theory, right? Can't predict it, but he's been playing recently, so I'm happy to flip him for Keenan Allen there. And the last one here, we have 2 seconds, 2 2023 seconds, and Ramondre Stevenson for Michael Thomas. This looks like a trade where, hey, I'm not competing. Let's pivot off of the veteran and go and get some draft capital, breaking him down into multiple assets that could, again, in the future have value. Ramondre Stevenson very well could be the starting running back this season for the Patriots, right? He may lead that committee and have an expanded role if Damian Harris leaves the following season. And then obviously, we love the 2023 class. We know all about it. 2 seconds there. I'm happy with that. Again, Michael Thomas very well could have peaked, a second peak, call it, this offseason with all the news of him coming back. It's a good time to move off. All right, guys, that is all we have for you. Again, if you like what we're doing, subscribe, like, questions, comments, drop it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.